Ne Plus Ultra, the Great Vestival Celebration. Chapter 1, The Calm Before the Goat Storm. In the year 1967, or maybe it was 1867, I'm not sure, two rural San Fernando territories, once split by the winding Simpson Brown Terrace, were on the brink of a historic change. No longer would they exist as isolated estates filled with roaming livestock, rum shops, and footpaths paved with gossip. No, sir. They were about to become one entity. Cocoyea Village. Street signs had already started changing. Naparimamea Road was bustling. Inverness Road, Inverine Road, Scotland Drive, Dallas Avenue, Altair Drive, all these were long dirt tracks framed by coconut trees and clucking chickens. But now they were being swept and polished like Queen Elizabeth herself might pass by. Cocoyea, with his suspiciously Scottish street names and undeniable Trini heart, had earned the nickname Little Scotland. But none of this could happen without the grand spectacle of unity and bacchanal that was the Vestival, a mashup of village investiture and festival, coined and promoted by the unchallenged queen of kitchen diplomacy, Mrs. Pett. Pett, her husband, Mr. Pett, said, leaning against the doorframe in their kitchen with flour on his cheek and a worried frown. Girl, this house smells like curry and ambition. You sure you know what you're doing? Mrs. Pett, who was stirring a pot with one hand and fanning herself with an old P&M manifesto in the other hand, shot him a side eye so sharp even the curry nearly bubbled up in fear.
I am not just cooking, sir. I'm campaigning. These people remember who fed them the best goat and gave them the boldest vision. I am cooking up my presidency.
Mr. Pett muttered, just make sure the goat don't win. Chapter 2. Across the road in her lime green duster, Miss Merle, self-proclaimed town security, was on her veranda with binoculars, locked in on the Pett household. This wasn't curiosity, this was intelligence gathering. I wonder if she's using shrimp in that curry. That people are allergic, you know. You know who I see behind the kitchen door? Miss Pasadi nephew, and he was holding a ladle. That boy cooking in Cocoyea and voting in Mayor or something fishy going on. Miss Merle whispered to Mrs. Callender, who had just come over for sugar but stayed for scandal.
Morning, Miss Callender. Morning, Miss Merle.
Alright there. Alright, you're good. How about me?
Everybody good, Miss Merle. Everybody good. How you doing?
I good, dear boy. I good. I holding on. God is good.
All right, Miss Merle, you hold on.
Alright, have a blessed day.
Meanwhile, the ever-smiling Mr. Callender was helping young Ricardo hammer up signs for the Pilau booth. Ricardo had already hammered his thumb twice and was seeing visions by now. It's reminding me of the 1956 election, Mr. Callender said. The sun hot, the hammer them swinging, and plenty bacchanal brewing. Down at number 28 in Vereen Road, Mrs. Antoine's kindergarten was in parade mode. Tiny hands clapped in rhythm as they rehearsed their chant. We love Cocoyea, we love stew peas, we love goat, and we love Miss. Little Allison, a drama queen in training, shouted, and I voted for Miss Pett. Miss Antoine laughed. You can't vote, child, but your mouth already on a campaign trail. Over on Dalkeith Road, Mr. Gill and Janice were stringing up banners made from old flower bags and colourful bottle caps. Every street was pitching, even the potholes were behaving this day. Chapter 3, Mr. Bishop and the Bishop Boys. Over on Perth Avenue, the flamboyant Mr. Bishop adjusted his wide-brimmed hat as he looked at his reflection in the cracked mirror nailed to his mango tree. The Calypso King of Cocoyea must look like royalty, he declared with a snap. His band, the Bishop Boys, rehearsed under a crooked tent. Janice, who could play pan like she had 12 fingers and a spirit in her spine, asked, You sure the goat not going to upstage all again? That was one time, Mr. Bishop said. That goat had taste, you only mash up off-key performance. Just then Miss Lynch passed by with a suspiciously golden beak and a side eye. If Ole wake up my cat one more time, I send in Bobo for Ole. Tell Bobo to come, Bishop shouted. We might sign him to play cowbell. Rehearsal went on and tension built as the band tried to settle on a theme song. Bishop wanted to play Pan in A minor, while Janice was lobbying hard for Bacchanal Breakdown. The keyboard player Alvin suggested a mashup of the two, but his keyboard had been missing 3 keys and had a suspicious smell of mango chow. It smelled like punch and rum. That's a sign from above, he said. We're going with both songs. We're calling it Pan in a Bark Paw Breakdown. Chapter 4. Behind Mr. Idu's shop on Altair Drive lived Bobo, a half pet, half menace of a goat that became a village legend. Nobody claimed him, but everybody fed Bobo. Even the vagrant known as Reefer Stanley once gave Bobo some coconut drops. Mr. Idu, currently stacking some canned sardines, glared as he thought and muttered to himself, "But if that goat break one more milk crate, I'm gonna sell him to Pasari Harder as a night watchman." Bobo, chewing on a mango skin, bleated in a tone that said,
Try me.
unknown to the villagers, Bobo had a legacy. He once belonged to the Simpson Browns, the original Scottish-Irish landowners. They had allowed him to eat scones and nibble their tea gardens, and he even once wore a tartan bow tie. When the estate crumbled, Bobo remained, watching, waiting, plotting his return to power. But Bobo was more than a goat. He was a symbol of defiance. He had kicked over rum bottles, stopped cricket matches, and once even headbutt a campaign poster so hard it stuck to his horns for 2 weeks that nobody dared touch him because everybody afraid Bobo. In his quiet moments, he would stare at the hills, contemplating and chew on clothespins and dream of conquest. Bobo was not just a goat. Bobo was a movement. And on Vestival morning, he would rise with the sun. Chapter 5, Vestival Morning and the Goat Quake. Vestival morning dawned with the sound of tassa drums and the smell of fresh bake and anticipation, chicken and sea moss. Miss Pet stood in her yard in her royal purple muumuu, directing food trays like a general.
Remember, no one gets pilau until they hear my speech.
Over on Inverian Road, Mr. Gill was trying to balance a banner that read, "Cocoyea, go no further," across 2 telephone poles with the help of 2 wobbling ladders, 1 blind rooster and Ricardo holding it steadily while eating a snow cone. Down on Scotland Drive, the Bishop boys were doing a final sound check. Everything was perfectly chaotic. The scent of doubles mixed with callaloo steam. Children had flags running around. Elders were folding their chairs and unfolding them and moving them and folding them back and moving them and sitting down and getting up and moving them back again. Everything was just going perfectly. Then came a low rumble. First, the chickens scattered. Then a coconut tree shook without wind. A distant scream rang out from Altea Drive. "Is that Bobo?" someone yelled. Bobo burst through the Naparamea Road like a goat possessed by the ancestors of rebellion. His hooves pounded like Tassa and he leapt over Ricardo's cone cart, kicked the music boot down sideways, head-butted a bucket of ice, jumped in the curry tent and licked a dumpling. He galloped onto the pilau booth like he was exacting revenge on lunch. Mrs. Pet screamed,
My election curry!
but it didn't stop there. Bobo's rampage was a poetry and chaos. He climbed the judging table and locked eyes with Trevor the toddler. Then he let out a bleat so haunting, Merle dropped her binoculars. He charged into the coconut water cooler, knocked over a trophy labeled Best Guava Cheese 1965, and finally made contact with Miss Antoine, who threw her parasol like a javelin. She barely missed him. The Great Goat Chase, Chapter 6. Enter Solomon, the Gandhi born on Monday, known for his legendary reflexes and his uncanny ability to climb anything in under 30 seconds. Solomon emerged from behind a tent from nowhere, ripped off his flip-flops like war shoes, and he shouted, "On your move!" Crowd parted. Children screamed with joy. One yelled,
Ride the goat, Solomon, ride the goat!
another chanted, "Bobo, Bobo!" It was like a football final. Solomon dove like a goalkeeper and landed squarely on Bobo's back. Bobo bucked. Solomon held on like a rodeo rider. They thundered past the pillar booth, zipped around the stag cooler, and ramped up the incline on Inverian Road like a rally car. People were placing bets. Ricardo shouted, 10 cents on Solomon! Alvin yelled, "Nah boy, Bobo have a leg muscle." They galloped through the fruit stalls. Mangoes flew. Solomon yelled, "You have a turbo mode!" At the corner by Simpson Terrace, Bobo suddenly stopped, causing Solomon to launch into a bush. The goat turned, trotting back, and head-butted the pilau sign again. Vindicated. Miss Posadi then stepped out of her front porch with her broom. "Bobo," she said, "you want licks or what?" Bobo froze. In that moment, all the bravado left his cloven hooves. Solomon crawled out of the bush and battered out proud. With the help of a carnival rope and the trembling hands of 3 villagers, Bobo was tied to a mango tree, the tree of shame. He bleated once, like a warning, and all of the people of Cocoyea knew this wasn't over. Chapter 7, Mrs. Pet's Presidential Entrance. A silence settled over Cocoyea like a prayer. Trumpet blared. From behind a freshly painted truck bed, decorated with hibiscus and mango leaves and bougainvillea and a patriotic fabric from Jimmy Abood, emerged Mrs. Pet. She descended slowly like a queen off a cruise ship, wearing a regal purple muumuu with gold trim and a sash. Behind her marched the kindergartners from Miss Antoine's school with signs that read, "Vote Pet or regret," "Cocoyea needs a queen," and one confusing sign that said, "Free lollies for unity." Mrs. Pet took to the stage. The stage itself, now reinforced with plywood, prayer, and 2 crates of condensed milk after last year's disaster, was ready for the political performance of a lifetime.
My people, we stand not just on soil, but we stand on destiny. I promise pothole repair, good patrol, and a 10% increase in Pilau portions, and a ban on playing soccer before 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings.
Half the crowd clapped and the other half booed. Mr. Bishop yelled, "We're negotiating that part." She continued,
"But most of all, Cocoyea needs a community center with a pool, a football field, a basketball court, a field hockey turf, and a library with real books, not just Reader's Digest from 1962.
A wave of emotion swept the square. The old Miss Alice dabbed her eyes. Mr. Calendar was so inspired he placed his hand on his chest like he had just heard the national anthem. And then it was time to play the national anthem, or so they thought. Chapter 8, Bishop's Blunder and the Dance of Doom. Mr. Bishop, sweating and inspired, stood behind the music booth with a stack of records and a shaky index card labeled National Anthem.
We love Cocoyea, we love stew peas, and we love gold, and we love me love. We love Cocoyea, we love stew peas, and we love goat, and we love you.
We love Cocoyea, we love Cocoyea. We love Cocoyea, we love Cocoyea. We love Cocoyea, we love Cocoyea.
We love Cocoyea, we love Cocoyea.
We love Cocoyea.
We love Cocoyea, we love stew peas, and we love goat, and we love you.